Today's range talk is brought to you by stupid instructors. Stupid instructors have been reporting for years that your responses should be automatic. Your responses should just happen. I'd like to talk to you about that for just a moment because that's fucking asinine. An instructor that tells you that your responses should be automatic and should happen without thought has some weird Zen bullshit going on in his brain, or her brain, which happens. If you go into a court of law after a defensive use of force in any capacity, and the prosecutor asks you, what were you thinking at the time you assaulted my client? At that point, if your response is, it was just automatic. I just hit him. I just stabbed him. I took the knife away and shanked him in the throat. I shot him. You're going to jail. Full stop. You're not describing anything in the resemblance of being useful. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. You're telling them that you are unhinged, unthinking, uncaring, and sporadic, spontaneous, and clearly dangerous. You have to have a thought-out plan of what you are going to do should the defensive need arise. Now, obviously, we cannot plan for every eventuality. We're not expected to. Reasonable doubt is what comes into most court cases. Civil is different. You can absolutely be exonerated in a court of law and eviscerated in a civil court. Totally different things. It's a good idea to prepare for both. They've got insurances and such for stuff like that now. They didn't have it, years ago. Or if they did, it was just used by very specific individuals. In an age where qualified immunity is disappearing quickly, civilians are going to be held to a much higher standard as well. And walking into any court of law and saying, I don't know what I was thinking, or, well, it just happened. It happened so fast I didn't know what was going on. You're going to get eviscerated by any prosecutor that is worth his shit. Public defender's probably going to be like, yeah, go with that. Unless you have a really, really good prosecutor or a public defender. And that dude's going to be like, well, let's rephrase that a little bit. Listen to that motherfucker. An individual that represents themselves has a fool for a client. Take legal advice. My first legal advice is shut the fuck up. Cops arrive. That dude's hurt. It looks bad. I was putting pressure on it, but his soul fell out. I want to see my lawyer. Done. Even that might be too much information for a lot of jurisdictions. That dude, it bled out. He died. This on the ground, that's the gun that did it. I want to see my lawyer. It's not uncommon that is not the smart thing to say. Not, he was coming right at me. I saw the knife in his hand. I pulled out my Blaster 2000 and zombified him. Probably not the best. Yeah, no, don't say that. The threat presented itself. I defended myself. I need a lawyer. If you go into court and you have a prosecutor, their job is to fucking win. They truly don't care if you're guilty or innocent. That is not their job. That's what the judge is for. The prosecutor's job is to prosecute you. The prosecutor's job is to make you appear guilty, both to a jury of your peers and the judge. Do not give them ammunition like it was automatic. They hit me and it was all muscle memory. Just put them on. Put the cuffs on, put on the orange jumpsuit, get used to like really sloppy potatoes and shitty fucking meat. Shit on a shingle is a thing. And apparently it's like, don't get me started. But I want you guys to think about these things. Think about your defensive situations and war game them to yourself. If Pookie the crackhead comes at me with a steak knife, I'm going to A, B, and C. If Pookie the crackhead comes at me with an ice cream spoon, I'm going to A, B, and C. If Pookie the crackhead comes up to me with a Saturday night special, I'm going to A, bang, and C. Know what your plans are and what your personal capabilities are, as well as your responsibility. They're two different things. If Pookie the crackhead is robbing the local 7-Eleven, it is not your job as an armed citizen to blast Pookie the crackhead and shove his fucking atlas bone out his fucking nasal passages. Unless you are in physical danger. Or the dude behind the counter happens to be your very bestest friend in the whole wide fucking world. You're not obligated to do fuck all except keep yourself safe. Now, I'm not saying be greedy and only think of yourself. But what I am saying is know your responsibility and your capability. You cannot hit the broadside of a fucking barn from in it. You should not be drawing out a 3-inch fucking snub-nosed revolver and trying to hit an 85-pound crackhead on the move. Probably not a good idea. You're gonna lose that one. If you can't hit what you are aiming at first shot every time, you are not 100% confident in your ability to hit that target. And if you are, you're probably fucking wrong. 3 things win a gunfight. And I'll go through those at a later date. But draw, first round accuracy, and malfunction clearances and reloads. Those are kind of the same thing. But draw and first round accuracy are fucking paramount. If you can't make that shot, don't. Just be a good witness and shut the fuck up. Hide behind the Twinkie aisle. When the cops show up, be like, you know, my boy Jimmy behind the counter, Pookie the crackhead came out. He was wearing some white fucking LeBron James sneakers. He was wearing Puma sweatpants hanging around his backside. He had Superman underwear on, and he had an Underoos shirt. He went south on Brooklyn. That's all you need. That is your responsibility within your capability. If you're capable of taking this dude on, dropping him to the ground, pummeling the ever-loving fuck out of him, and getting him into a submissive position where he's no longer a threat to yourself or anybody else, cool. If you're capable of making that draw and shot, first round hit every time, if that's what the situation needs, then the situation requires that action. But if the situation requires that action and you cannot perform it 100% proficiently, you shouldn't be taking that action to begin with. Sorry. If you miss, you're not solving any problems, you're fucking creating them. Full stop. Period. If you're creating problems, then the prosecutor is going to do their job and remove you as a threat from society. Train hard, train smart, train consistently. Understand your responsibility, understand your capability. Your comfort zone will kill you. The goal of training is to make your comfort zone so fucking broad, so fucking huge, that they fall within it. Your comfort zone kills them. Be well, train right. Namaste.